Voice of Industry.
Voice of Industries.
Cédric, welcome to Voice of Industries. It's great to have you today with us to talk about your digitalization approach at Applexion that you implemented to better serve your customers. I should mention that this podcast is one in a series of 3 about Applexion digital transformation. Could you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do at Applexion?
Hello Mathieu, I've been working at Applexion for several years now, and I've been working at the digital service for 2 years as the digitalization project manager.
Cédric, to what I understand, you are in charge of the new digital services at Applexion. First, could you explain a bit to us what you do at Applexion, which kind of product and services you provide to your customers?
Formally, Applexion is a provider of systems and consumables for the purification industries, so process industries. And we also now provide our expertise for the clients during the lifetime of the use of the consumables and the services.
So, if I understand well, the digitalization part is to support the customer during the life cycle of the product.
Exactly. The systems that we supply are to be used for many, many years. And the consumables have a short duration of use. And the purpose of the services is to help our customers in running their plant and improve their performance while their system is aging.
What led you to develop this kind of service to your customer? Is it because your customer asked for it, or it is because you see that there is a lack of expertise within your customers around your process?
What I've seen when I was working at the customer service, that our customers were looking for our expertise. They didn't have it on site. So they asked us for our expertise, but without bringing the data that was necessary to answer them correctly.
Does that mean that at that time you had to go on site, travel to see the customer, to collect the data required to do your expertise? And maybe it was costly because of the traveling. Also, they had to wait a lot because of the availability of technicians, etc. Is that a difficult situation for them because of that?
There were 2 frustrations, in fact. There were the frustration from the customer wanting to have an answer quickly because their system was not functioning or badly functioning. And there was a frustration from ourselves not to be able to answer correctly to them. And what I could see at that time is that the data was available on site. So the customer was sending you some data, some pictures from the plant that we could not use. Now with the digitalization services that we provide, and the customer has the expertise on site, and also we can connect to their data and help them with the expertise remotely, which is bringing time to answering the issue a better one. You have also the fact that you don't go to the plant, so that is a costly effect for the customer and also for you. And the third one is the decarbonization. You don't use any plane because we are looking for something which is worldwide, which is soft.
Yeah, so you don't need to travel, you can do it remotely thanks to the data.
Exactly.
Okay, can you explain to us a bit more about the different new services you developed around data for your customers?
So the 2 services are mainly on how to answer to their needs. So they have 2 needs. The first one is how to improve the performance of the plant with the plant running as it is. So improve the process parameters of the systems. And the second one is how to ensure to have the system always at its best performance according to the objectives of the client.
Okay, well understood. So if I understand well, the first one also includes a notion of troubleshooting to identify things that are not running properly, so like a default on equipment, something like this?
Yes, it is. The first one is to ensure that you get the default in the plant, but we also add, thanks to algorithms that we have set in the system, in the service, the best recommendations to ensure that the expertise is given to the client directly in the plant.
So the system is doing a recommendation to the customer.
Yeah. Action plan every shift of operators.
Having discussed about your new services, how did you brought and developed these new services internally?
Internally, it comes from two things. The first is how to answer to the time to market for those new services. We were seeing that there was a request from the customers, from the clients, and how to tackle this. And the last years, we have seen a big improvement in the use of the data, the existence, just the existence of the data and the cloud computing. Applexion is not a provider of digital services, so we were looking for a supplier who could help us in developing those services, and Applexion did not want to be a data solution provider.
So which option did you choose? Did you choose to go to a company that will develop for you all the solution, or did you partner with other company, or did you use existing technology on the market? What was your approach and why?
The approach was to find a company which was the best in class to ensure that we were able to just put our algorithms, so our expertise in the system, and be able to bring an easy-to-use solution, service, that could be usable by a process engineer.
Now that these services are available to your customers, what are the feedback you get from them?
The feedback is quite impressive because they can get a lot from the improvement they get in their plants. They improve their productivity, and sometimes more than 50%, showing that they have a huge margin of improvement.
So you say 50?
Yeah, 50%.
50?
Yes. Wow. And also, in the meantime, reducing the water consumption, for example. So that is using both the two services that we provide, you have a huge feedback and costly effective, and also
environmentally,
and also for the feeling that you have with your customer, in fact.
So it also increases the quality of the relationship you have with the customer.
Exactly. You go to the customer with something else that shows that you are also looking for improving their performance.
Cédric, you just mentioned a very impressive improvement about productivity at your customer sites thanks to these services. Does that mean that there is currently a lack of expertise at the customer site? We all know that there is a lot of turnover currently in the industry, and it's not easy to recruit experts. So is it the case?
Yes, there is a huge turnover in the plant where our systems are installed. And in fact, there are 4 ways to do this expertise. You can have an expertise which is local with the operators and technicians, but there is a lot of turnover. So you need to keep the expertise. You can have a remote expertise, but still internally of the client, where the people are not on site, so they don't know everything, but they have some information. You can also have a third expertise, which is the one given by Applexion formally, saying, I am the expert, so give me the data, or I need to come to the plant to ensure that expertise. And then there's the last one, the fourth one, which is the one we are developing now with those digital services, which are bring our expertise on site with the algorithms that we put, our expertise algorithm that we put in the service.
Okay, so in fact, you put your expertise within the algorithm, and you are able to deploy this algorithm and this, in fact, your expertise at scales thanks to this digital approach.
Exactly. And if you remember the beginning of the discussion, there were 2 frustrations. The one from the client being on site and not having the possibility of answering in a time-effective way and cost-effective also to their needs, and a frustration from ourselves not being able to answer to the client and being in a position where you need to answer. We are both frustrated. And with those 2 new services, the client can answer by himself to his needs without asking us. So that answers their frustration, and also on our part, the client here is being satisfied. We are satisfied also. So that's really nice approach.
So if I understand well, as a company developing systems for purification, thanks to digitalization, now you are able to be much more effective in supporting your customer in the whole life cycle of your products. and to have also, I would say, a better satisfaction on their sides, while being very effective on your side in terms of organization and cost.
Exactly, that was the point I was going to tell you. Now the team is more involved in developing the services that answer the customer needs than just having the information, having to treat it, and then when it's done, then the added value, you've lost it. It's already passed. With the development of the services, you just add a layer on the added value that you give to your client.
Finally, what could be the 3 recommendations you can give to a company willing to do the same digitalization journey as you did at Applexion?
The first one would be find a good partner. Because it's important, you're not the one who is going to develop all the data security, the way the client is going to use effectively the system. So first one is find a good partner. To start, you need to start to work on this, otherwise it's not going to happen.
You should mention it, because sometimes people are waiting and saying, one day we will do it, but you need to start.
You need to be proactive. You need to meet the clients to understand also what are their needs. If you don't understand the needs of your client, you can't have the service that they are looking for. So I think it would be my third recommendation. Go to the market as soon as possible.
Great. Thank you, Cédric, for this very insightful exchange.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me for this podcast.
Thank you.